I'm here to be granted a food allowance from my mother because I like to make my own food choices, what I want whenever we go shopping.
All right, you want a food allowance so you can pick what you eat.
Yes.
All right. How you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
And it's Debbie?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you are Jordan's mom?
Yes, I am.
What do you think about this?
Jordan and I have had a long-standing argument about this issue for, I'd say, the last 8 years.
Okay.
He doesn't always make the right choices, and I'm concerned about giving him a food allowance.
Okay. So, I operate from a place of truth. So let's go there, okay? Because everybody here is heavy. Right? I mean, let's just be for real. Because there's no shame in anything.
Well, since he was 6 years old, I'd take him to the grocery store, and he would have this big scene in the middle of the frozen food section regarding things that he wanted to have, whether it's fried mozzarella sticks or chicken quesadillas or cheese blintzes. And he'd like to slide them into the cart, and then I'd slide them out and put them back, and he'd slide them back in, and I'd put them back, and then we'd end up with this big argument, and I'd say, no, this isn't the best choice for you. Let's learn to read the labels, understand what's on the labels, the carbs, the calories, and let's pick other better choices.
Okay.
So we've been doing that for many years.
Well, you're heavy yourself.
Yes.
And so it seems like you know what we're supposed to do. So tell me, what's your issue? Are you cooking stuff that you're not supposed to, or what?
No, I'm cooking healthy dinners for him. I think his...
Now, you have health issues yourself?
Yes, I do. My husband and I are both diabetics. So we're very concerned that Jordan is, heading towards adolescent diabetes.
Now, is your father heavy too?
No, he's more trim and slim.
Trim and slim?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you took after your mom then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Tell me, what's a typical meal?
Well, for a typical meal, usually for breakfast, we would have just plain cereal. On some days, we'd have toast. For lunch, I usually pack a lunch for school. I'd usually get a school lunch. I'd usually get like a salad they have and then some fruit. And then for dinner, sometimes we have pork chops or we have spaghetti, but we have it in smaller portions.
Well, let me tell you something. That sounds like a perfect meal, but something's missing. Well, you haven't missed many meals, my brother. Right?
Yeah.
How did he get to be, you're over 200 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did he get to be this size at 13? Mom?
I think a lot of it is sitting by the video machine with his, getting a lot of exercise in his fingers.
Okay.
And not enough outside.
All
running
right.
and playing, and that's something that I've been pushing him for. The doctors always said, you got to keep pushing him to go outside and play and get out of stop watching TV and playing the video games.
Now, you have a stable home, right?
Yes.
So was anything going on at the time at the house that would have made him want to eat more? Because, sometimes people eat out of frustration and stress.
Yes.
Do you think that may be an answer?
I think my husband and I had some issues regarding food. He is not on the same page as me.
Tell me, what's the page?
The page is that, he's trim and slim, and he can eat anything he wants, whenever he wants, whether it's ice cream or...
Don't you hate those kind of people?
Oh, yeah. The other day...
Yeah.
The other day it was lemon meringue pie. I said, why are you buying this pie? We all went to the grocery store. We don't need a lemon meringue pie. We don't need ice cream. We need to have fruits and vegetables.
So we got skinny husband who can eat anything he wants, bringing in all the good stuff, too much temptation, and everybody's just eating and having a good time. Basically.
Basically.
And so your parents used to argue about food a lot?
Yes, they used to do sometimes. And sometimes.
Now, how did that make you feel?
Well, it does make me feel sad because, I don't like seeing my parents fight. When my parents fight, it really hurts me inside, too.
Do you think that's why you're eating, son?
I think sometimes that is kind of why I do like eating more.
Are you all still arguing a lot, still?
The food issues have been a major issue in our household for the last 6-7 years.
I wish we could have brought him here today, because that's an issue. Food is an issue. And it's like, it's one of those situations where we like to put people down about it instead of trying to get to the root of the problem. Because if you have diabetes and health issues, you don't want the same thing for your son, but he's on the road to it.
Well, my husband has diabetes also, so he's not making any effort to change. So he's bringing in things that Jordan really shouldn't be exposed to.
So he's just a part. He's like the invisible man here, but he's a major part of it.
Yes.
Particularly with the arguing that's going on with Jordan. You're getting ready to go to high school?
Yes.
Now, I have some notes here that folks have been bullying and teasing you.
Yes.
Tell me about that, son.
Well, for example, when I stay online for lunch, people would come up and just start poking me in the stomach, start laughing at me.
I need you to sit down for this one, because today we are talking about a 13-year-old boy who walked into a courtroom and asked for something so simple, the right to pick his own food, and what came out was one of the deepest, most heartbreaking family stories I have seen on this show. This is not just about groceries. This is about generations of pain sitting at one dinner table. Grab something to drink, because we are about to go there.
And then they walk away. And then there are also times where, we have play days a lot. And so someone, he calls me a hippo or a rhino. But he's bigger than I am, so I try, to not let it hurt me that much.
Well, you try not to let it hurt you, but that's not right. How does it make you feel?
It hurts. And it hurts to talk about it, too.
I know, but you're so brave. How many 13-year-olds will come on television?
Thank you.
This thing that we have with this bullying thing is out of control right now. Have you called the school about it?
I have talked to the school, and kids are cruel. They always are, and I've kind of tried to coach Jordan into helping him let it run off his shoulders. I had the same problem when I was in school as well.
Yeah,
So,
though, you hear about kids, good kids, who are bullied to the point where they go get guns and then they want to shoot up everybody. Did you know the extent of this? Because he's hurting.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? I really think you ought to look into this with him, because I know you have girlfriends or play sports.
Well, yes, I do like playing sports. We have soccer, and I like playing soccer and tennis a lot. But there are a lot of sports, like basketball, where people judge me on what I look like for being on a team.
So this kid, Jordan, 13 years old, walks in and says all he wants is a food allowance so he can make his own choices at the grocery store. Sounds simple, right? But the second his mom, Debbie, opens her mouth, you already know this is bigger than snacks and cereal. She tells us they have been fighting about food for 8 years. 8 years. Since this baby was 6 years old, standing in the frozen food aisle, sliding mozzarella sticks into the cart while his mom slides them right back out. And listen, I get it, she's trying to protect him. Both her and her husband are diabetic. She is terrified her son is walking straight into the same disease that runs in her own blood. But then Jordan starts talking about his day-to-day. Cereal for breakfast, a packed lunch or a school salad, smaller portions at dinner, and I'm sitting here like, that actually sounds reasonable. So where is 200 plus pounds on a 13-year-old body coming from? And that's when it cracks open. The mom brings up video games, not enough outside time. But then Judge Penny asks the real question, is something going on in that house that's making this boy want to eat? And Debbie admits it. Her and her husband argue about food in front of him. And Jordan, this sweet, innocent kid, says it straight up. When his parents fight, it hurts him inside. And sometimes, that's why he eats. Y'all, a 13-year-old just told a courtroom he uses food to cope with his parents fighting. Sit with that for a second.
And so what, you never get picked?
Well, I have to get picked in the end, but but it's not like they want me. My teacher has to put me on a team, and then they get all mad and start sighing, and they
that doesn't feel really good. Do you exercise at all?
Well, yes, I do exercise. We have a treadmill at home, but I try to exercise sometimes, but I know I'm not exercising as much as I really should be. Then my dad talks to me, and he says, "Jordan, we will try and do this," but when he says where I want to exercise, he doesn't try as much. Like, for example, when we go biking, so my dad's diabetes, he gets tired more easily also. And so, so we bike like right down the street, but then he gets tired and has to go back inside for water. I can't exercise if he says he wants to help me, but he doesn't. And I know my dad should try and do it alone, too.
Sweetheart, you can't do it alone. You're only 13 years old. And if we didn't have family court, I don't know what you would do. You had your opportunity, you came here, and you will be heard. We're going to fix this. Now, this is something the judge can fix. I'm not worrying about this.
Okay, I have to stop right here because what happens next absolutely wrecked me, and we need to talk about it. Judge Penny asks Jordan about school, and he starts describing what these kids do to him, poking him in the lunch line, laughing, calling him hippo, calling him rhino. And this baby, this 13-year-old, says, "I try not to let it hurt me," and then he breaks. He straight up tells her it hurts. It hurts to talk about too. That line right there is the whole case. That is everything. Let's talk about the legal side of this for a second, because it matters. Jordan technically came to family court asking for a food allowance, basically asking the court to give him financial autonomy over his own meals. Now, legally, courts don't usually hand a minor direct control over money like that, especially when there are two capable, present parents in the home. So, from a pure legal standpoint, Judge Penny was never going to just cut him a check and say, "Go buy whatever you want." That was never realistically on the table. But here's what made this case so powerful. She didn't just deny the request and move on. She used her position to dig into why a 13-year-old felt like the only way to protect himself was to fight for control over food. That is next-level judging right there. That's not just applying the law, that's understanding the human being standing in front of her. Now let's get into the human angle, because this is where it gets heavy. Debbie reveals she has struggled with weight since the 3rd grade. Her own mother used to give her half a piece of bread with a green pepper on it for lunch. A child, being restricted like that at 5 years old. And she remembers other kids asking her where the rest of her lunch was and having to lie about it out of shame. Do you understand what that means? Debbie is parenting Jordan through the exact same wound that was carved into her as a little girl. She swore she'd do it differently, and in some ways she's trying. She's teaching him to read labels, understand carbs, make better choices. But the emotional pattern, the tension, the arguing over food at the table, that's generational trauma repeating itself in real time, right in front of our eyes. And then there's Dad, diabetic himself, trim and slim his whole life so it doesn't affect him the same way, bringing home lemon meringue pie after a fight about groceries. Being what Judge Penny called the invisible man in this whole situation, not yelling, not fighting, just quietly making it worse by refusing to change alongside everyone else. So you've got a mom carrying childhood food trauma, a dad in complete denial about his own health, and in the middle of it, a 13-year-old boy who is being bullied at school, called names by kids twice his size, eating in secret pain because his home doesn't feel stable, and somehow he is the one sitting in a courtroom asking for control. This isn't a story about a kid who wants junk food. This is a story about a child who has never had control over anything in his environment. Not the fighting, not the bullying, not his own body, and food became the one thing that felt like his. That right there is the root of so much disordered eating in kids, and I felt that in my chest watching this.
What were you saying, Debbie?
I was saying that, we urge him to go with his friends, and nobody wants to do those things.
No,
they all want to sit around and play video games and watch TV, and we are trying to discourage him from doing that.
Debbie, I'm not understanding because you got it going on, my dear. You know all about nutrition and everything. What happened with you? What's your issue with regard to your weight?
I've been overweight all my life. Since
you were his age?
Since I was 3rd grade.
Do you think that maybe that's why you're not as sensitive to when he cries about the bullying? Did people pick on you too?
Oh, sure. I went through the same thing he is, and I was trying to do my best to prevent him from going through that. And I shared the stories with him just like, just like he did. When I went to school, my mom would give me a half a piece of bread with a green pepper on top. And when I get to lunch, the kids would say, "What happened to the other piece of bread?" And I'd say, "I lost it on the way to school," because my mom wouldn't give me 2 pieces of bread. She'd only give me 1. Because you can't have the carbs, so she'd only give me a green pepper and a piece of bread,
Oh, so that's why food has become an issue in your life, where you can control what you... So you ate more than a piece of bread and a pepper.
Sure.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, though, you may have resented how she was treating you with that. Was she heavy?
She was at one time, but she lost the weight. I had thinned out and dropped the weight as well, and then I had a baby, and life changed, and and became more of a weight, and but it's hereditary. My father was a large person. We have diabetes in our family, so a lot of things are hereditary.
Yeah, you know what, though? This is a part of being hereditary. We're going to break this. Because I don't want to see you gone. He is an only child. He needs his mother with him.
Right.
And your husband is 60 years old, although that's still very young as far as I'm concerned. And so I just think that I'm so impressed that he can fight for himself. You know, it's easy for him to he's getting ready to go to high school and he's crying out for help. And I don't want to see him years from now. I'm reading the newspaper and they're talking about this kid, Jordan, who came in and just lashed out because of all this bullying. So I'm really, really concerned about it. But Jordan, I don't know if you're the best judge of being able to pick your foods. Because it seems like your mom knows what you need to eat, but it's just, you're going to have to want it. How bad do you want to slim down?
I want it really bad, but but I have learned from her that I do know some of the foods I need to eat. You know, I do know I need to eat more vegetables, I need to eat more fruits, and I need to slow down on what I eat. You know, and one thing I think, you know, they say, you know, if you chew slowly, you get full quicker. I'm been chewing fast, so you just swallow it all down, and that's also.
Your innocence is just incredible to me. This is a bigger issue than just you, because we have to get the entire family together on what they need to do. Be as on the ball as you are about things, have you ever enrolled him in the program before? I mean, you didn't just let him get like this.
No.
Tell me what you did.
You mean a
Some
diet
kind of weight loss program?
No, I haven't put him in a program yet. We've been looking at some
what
things
about
that are
the
available.
why, or has he joined a gym, or?
He wants to join a gym. We looked at that, you know.
What I'd like you to do, because this is your only child, is not repeat the past. It's almost like you're reliving through him what you went through, and it's not fair. What we see now may be the result of a rebellion for what was done to you. Not to criticize your mother, because I always tell people you don't get a handbook on how to be a mother or a parent.
No.
You do the very best that you can. But at 5 years old, trying to put you on a diet may have been a little bit extreme,
right,
which maybe put resentment in your spirit, which is why now it was inevitable that you would end up being overweight.
But the doctors had said for Jordan at the age of 5 and 6 and 7 that he should just cut down on his portions and increase his activity level, and the weight will come off. That's been what we've been working on these years.
Yeah, but
and
he hasn't done it.
Right,
so is
working.
somebody at the house when he gets home? Tell me a typical day. If he gets home, are you there to feed him dinner? Does the family eat dinner together?
Yes, we do. Yes.
All right, that's unusual, because I don't know anybody who can sit down and eat family. And so when does he get the exercise?
At school. I think yes, he gets most of it at school.
Well, that's not a whole lot. No. They've cut out PE programs. They're telling us that we have to live healthier, yet he goes to private school, or he's in public school?
Public school.
Oh, yeah, they're cutting out all of that, because that's not that important. Yet they want to tell us that we have to live right. You go to the dollar menu at any place, and they have all these things that are not good for you for $1. Yet the things that are healthy are so expensive. It costs to live and eat and change your life, and it's expensive.
Right, well, he says sushi is healthy. He's right, it is very healthy. But we can't afford $50, $100 sushi bills 2-3 times a week.
Why would it cost so much? You just eat 4 little sushi?
No.
I'm a growing boy. I can't do that.
4?
All right.
Like 12.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not a big sushi eater, as you can tell, so I don't know how that works. But that's not going to be necessarily realistic. And so what we're going to do is, and you didn't know this because you're only 13 years old, you come to court and you sued your mother to try to give you money to eat anything you want to eat. So we're going to restructure that a little bit, because I can't let you just eat anything you want to eat, and I don't know how much money it's going to take to do that. But what I can do for the whole family, and not just you, Jordan, because Jordan cares about you, we're going to bring in a nutritionist to help the whole family together with the husband. Let me tell you.
Now let's get to the ruling, because Judge Penny did something I genuinely respected. She didn't hand Jordan a food allowance. Instead, she looked at this entire family and said, "This isn't your issue, Jordan. This is everybody's issue." She ordered a nutritionist into the home for the whole family, including Dad. Not a punishment, not a lecture, an actual intervention for everyone, not just the kid who had the courage to ask for help. And then she said something that stuck with me. She told them, "You can't fix this with a pill. You can't fix this with surgery. This is your life, and it takes real work." And honestly, As blunt as Judge Penny can be, that was real. That was earned wisdom, not a script. What got me the most was watching Jordan in that final moment, teary-eyed, 13 years old, still holding on to hope that things could actually change for his family. This kid showed more emotional insight sitting in that courtroom than most adults show in a lifetime.
Something, sweetie. It's hard work. You know what I'm saying? I used to could eat anything that I wanted. Then I crossed that magical number, and then I had to start watching. But anything you want in this life, you can do, but it's not going to come easy. You can't just have surgery or take a pill or do anything like that. I used to represent, I was the judge that handled all the fen-phen redux cases, you know, the dye drug that people used to take. And I was amazed that people would put themselves in harm's way just thinking you can take a pill to fix it. You can't. This is your body. This is your life. I'm proud of you. You ignore the people who are bullying you, because a lot of times it's going to give you the strength that you never thought possible. So what we're going to do is have a nutritionist come in the house for you too.
Including my husband.
Including your husband, because I really believe it's a family issue. It's not Jordan's issue, it's not your issue, and it's not the invisible skinny man's issue, your husband. I think it's the whole family's issue, that we can understand that this is important and making this family a priority. Okay? So, Jordan, I'm going to find in favor of you. I'm not going to give you all the money you want to eat like you want, but we're going to have a nutritionist come out to the house and set up a plan. And what you do is you need to get active, okay? If you want this, you want to be on the tennis team, you want to play basketball, you've got to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you, okay?
Yes.
All right. Court is adjourned. Thank you. You're all teary-eyed. What's up? You all right? Yeah. We're going to get it all straight. You watch and see. Both of you've got to want it. You got to love yourself enough to want this. Do you hear me? Because I can see so much pain, even with you. Do you hear me? So what you all have to do is make yourselves a priority. I want you to do that for me. Put the both of you first.
Listen, this case is a reminder that what looks like a kid just wanting junk food is almost never that simple. There is always a deeper story, and Jordan's story is one about bullying, about generational pain, about a family that loves each other but doesn't know how to heal together yet. I need to know what you think. Do you think this family is actually going to follow through? Was Judge Penny right to make this about everyone and not just Jordan? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I read every single one. If this case hit you the way it hit me, smash that like button, subscribe if you're not already part of the family, and I will see you in the next one.